If each person resists political influences, we can prevent atrocities and promote positive evolution. Groups will evolve as individuals do because, in nature, progress typically flows from the bottom up. If you view God and the devil as controlling the outcomes, consider how the individual fits into this dynamic. The individual possesses free will, personal justice, compassion, and the ability to choose. Weakening individuals to make them rely on group strength compromises their spiritual principles. Political beliefs often lead us to feel insignificant in the grand scheme of life, yet individuals are the ones who make things happen. Those at the top benefit while individuals are exploited. Today, individual strength, self-respect, and self-esteem are crucial. With the rising emphasis on equal human rights, we can all strive to understand, self-regulate, and correct our behaviors. Evolution is a constant process, whether or not one believes in God, political systems, or human rights. Despite the various forms of governance and belief systems throughout history, the consistent theme has been evolution. This pattern is evident in sports, technology, medicine, and all fields of human knowledge. The resistance to change within religions and conservative ideologies highlights the ongoing challenge. However, if individuals respond to their inherent nature, humanity will continue to evolve. If something is holding you back, it's crucial to investigate the causes and ask both others and yourself why your current life or living years seem less significant than life after death. While exploring this, consider whether anyone has clear answers about what lies beyond our physical existence. Why not believe that God requires our physicality to manifest goodness? This perspective suggests that our present life is where we truly have the power to make a difference. Therefore, our actions should reflect a sense of duty and love, rather than fear and greed, as has been preached for centuries. Logically, if we must die to discover what lies beyond, then everything we do in anticipation of the afterlife can be seen as a gamble. If you are genuinely committed to living for the love of God, rather than being driven by the fear of hell or the greed for heaven, then your spirituality should be pure and not influenced by political motives. If politics is diminishing your relevance and self-esteem, it is neither just nor spiritual. Someone is benefiting from your diminished sense of worth, and it isn't your God. So, who stands to gain from this manipulation? You possess your own unique atom of autonomy, granting you free will and a personal sense of justice. Why, then, would you inflict on others what you would not want for yourself or your loved ones? Why seek to belong to the strongest group? Is it due to insecurity, and if so, why? Is it influenced by your education, personal experiences, or political factors? Such influences might indicate that you are suffering from a sense of irrelevance. Your relationship with God and spirituality may lack purity if it is driven by blind faith rather than genuine belief in yourself and your abilities. If your spirituality is lacking, it's time to reevaluate your mindset. Break free from political and religious constraints, and instead, embrace universal principles such as belief in one true God, humanity, and blind justice based on solid spiritual foundations. Regardless of your race, gender, color, nation, or religion, your primary role is to be a human being with autonomy and spiritual wisdom. Embrace this with pride and use your free will and sense of justice to act with compassion, bravery, generosity, and love. By fulfilling your responsibilities and reciprocating the gifts of life, you need not worry about the afterlife. If your education has turned you into a political puppet, causing you to act against your values or those of your loved ones, your issue is not spiritual but political. Allowing political affiliations to override spiritual principles means you must confront your internal conflict. Living with internal turmoil can feel like a form of hell. Remember, your belonging group, nation, or religious beliefs do not have the answers to your personal problems. You do. While you can pray for peace of mind, God may be guiding you to seek answers directly, without the baggage of political influence. Embrace spirituality over mere religiosity, and align yourself with humanity rather than a political group. Justice should be universal, like God and spirituality. Divisions among humanity arise not from our inherent nature or spiritual beliefs but from spiritually weakened individuals and strong political influences. To truly evolve, you must advance in all aspects of life and reach your potential. Otherwise, you risk repeating the mistakes of your ancestors, who fought over resources and ideologies, despite thousands of years of evolution. Our evolutionary nature should guide us to resolve problems, not perpetuate them. Learning from history and striving to evolve are essential for progress. Consider the analogy of muscle building, which involves creating micro-tears in muscles through exercise. As you recover, your body adapts to handle increased intensity. Similarly, spiritual micro-tears from challenging political status quos can drive evolution. While progress may be slow, as seen in the fight for equal human rights, it is a necessary process of adaptation and growth. Facing fears and overcoming challenges are crucial for evolution. If you shy away from growth, your life will remain limited compared to those who push boundaries and set higher standards for future generations. This ongoing pursuit of progress is evident in all human societies, regardless of race, gender, or religion. Speak up, confront your fears, and strive for balance. Mastering fear is key, as is avoiding extremes. Embrace spiritual growth through micro-tears and adaptation to evolve safely and strengthen your metaphorical or spiritual muscles. I believe that while God may have initiated our existence from simple cells, our spiritual essence encompasses much more. God granted us life and sustaining circumstances, but it is our responsibility to fulfill our spiritual duties of reciprocation. If everything you do is driven by a genuine love for the action itself, you are fulfilling your personal journey. However, if your actions are motivated by the desire to fit in, impress others, or seek admiration from your group, you risk straying from your spiritual path. This can lead to unhappiness, anxiety, depression, and other health issues. In essence, adapt to your surroundings and personal growth at your own pace. An example from my upbringing illustrates this: before pushing your finger through a piece of paper, poke it with pinholes. This metaphor highlights the importance of gradual growth, not only for physical development but also for spiritual growth. If you have set unrealistic standards for yourself, believing that life must be perfect, you must learn to embrace imperfections and the process of growth through micro-tears. As I grew up, I realized that there is limitless potential for learning, not just about the vast streams of knowledge but also about the depth within ourselves. This continuous thirst for knowledge has opened doors to new experiences and insights. For instance, this blog represents an ongoing process of learning and growth. While I cannot predict the future, I know that this journey makes me eager to learn more and evolve. It signifies that I am following my evolving nature and am open to new ideas, rather than adhering rigidly to traditions or rules that do not resonate with me. I believe that our metaphorical world, which is not grounded in physical reality, should be respected more than our physical world. This does not mean I do not believe in God. On the contrary, I view myself as a cell of God with the responsibility to reciprocate and act meaningfully in the physical world. Therefore, optional prayers are insufficient. If we are blessed with free oxygen, a functioning body, and the opportunity to enjoy life, we must reciprocate by translating spirituality into physical actions. Unfortunately, I see many undermining God's work by harming each other, thus contradicting the divine purpose. We should strive to improve ourselves personally rather than competing to dominate others. Given our evolution, we should have transcended primal instincts and the politics of group belonging. As I have mentioned, we are crucial partners in illuminating the wisdom of God, spirituality, and humanity. We contribute to the divine light in the world. Consider this: if all humans were removed, what would happen to the concepts of God and devil? Would they hold meaning or relevance? This thought experiment challenges us to remove political influences and see what remains. Doing so may help us learn to respect all living beings more and approach life with humility and genuine spirituality. Seeking knowledge and growth should not be restricted by complete or unquestionable beliefs. God's inherent call for evolution means that we must embrace challenges, create micro-tiers, and adapt to new stresses. This process involves breaking away from the status quo and relentlessly pursuing growth until the end of our lives. I respect monks but believe that monastic life is not a divine mandate but rather a product of religious politics. The desire to fit in, impress others, or seek admiration often stems from a hidden political sense of belonging. I assert that all human beings are integral to the divine puzzle and have the responsibility to make life meaningful through physical actions. Being human means embracing this journey fully, including helping oneself as well as others. Exclusively living for oneself or others is not divinely sanctioned. Self-sacrifice, often connected to fitting in or seeking admiration, may not be a genuine spiritual pursuit but rather a manifestation of deep-seated political influences. We all can live for a cause, but this should align with our free will and personal sense of justice, not just for others but for ourselves as well. This is not about promoting selfishness but about finding balance. Our spiritual journey involves justice for ourselves as well. If you believe that God requires your obedience, remember that such demands are likely from controlling authorities, not God. God has endowed us with autonomy and the capacity for evolution. Therefore, questioning and understanding the politics behind traditions, customs, rituals, and rules, especially those imposed by force, are essential. Whether religious or not, the essence of working hands is a reflection of God's purpose. While we are blessed with free will, being good is not optional, it is a duty. Strive to be a well-evolved, good person for the sake of God and humanity, as your actions transcend group politics and reflect universal justice. Beliefs dictated by groups may be politically tainted, so seek to understand spirituality through a broader lens rather than being confined by religious or political boundaries. Treat others as you would like to be treated, with respect and compassion. Religions have been around for thousands of years with the aim of helping human beings. However, instead of alleviating fear, anxiety, and depression, extreme religious demands can sometimes exacerbate these issues. Simply adhering to traditional ways of thinking or prescribed practices does not necessarily resolve spiritual concerns. I am not suggesting that religious and spiritual practices alone can heal all health problems, but I believe that genuine spirituality and reciprocation can help us address our shortcomings. With millennia of traditional religious teachings, becoming a truly spiritual being is no easy task. It requires transcending political affiliations to specific groups and questioning the authority of prescribed holy texts. By directly believing in a universal God and embracing spirituality and humanity as a whole, we can reduce fear and anxiety. After all, we cannot even breathe without divine support. If you have been alive for a while, it's reasonable to trust that this support will continue. If you seek help from your group, remember that they are just as vulnerable and dependent as you are. Hence, connecting directly with your source through honest reciprocation is crucial. Trusting God for spiritual guidance is sensible, but placing your group above God can be problematic. There are over 4,200 religions, each dividing God into different interpretations. If God is only for some and not for all, that's a form of political division. Logically, you do not get oxygen or a functioning body merely by following prescribed rules. Political affiliations to groups can be seen as a form of addiction. If you become an extremist, sacrificing your free will and personal sense of justice, you are not truly embracing the universality of God or connecting with your spiritual nature. Instead, you may seek security and comfort only among people who share your vulnerabilities, rather than finding solace in a broader spiritual context. If you adhere strictly to your religion's practices, praying, fasting, and following prescribed rituals, you should ideally be free from fear, control, and insecurity-based health problems. If you experience these issues, critically evaluate your situation. Our advanced education and imagination can shape our understanding of what is important. You have been breathing oxygen and living in a complex body with trillions of cells, all requiring evolving knowledge to comprehend. Since life and death are beyond our control, it is essential to accept this reality. Worry and stress will not change this, they will only accelerate your problems. The question of what happens after death remains unanswered until you experience it yourself. Worrying excessively about this can detract from the richness of your present life. Living in fear constricts your existence, making you hesitant to take even simple actions like crossing the street. Life was not meant to be lived in fear and control, but our group-based education often diminishes the individual's relevance. It can undermine self-esteem, instill fear of hell, and promote greed for an afterlife, leading to anxiety and mental health issues. Fortunately, we live in an era where individual rights are increasingly recognized, yet some so-called spiritual people oppose equal rights and refuse to help refugees, forgetting that human individuals give life to nations and religions. God is meaningful when human beings use their physical presence to enact positive change. Just as circling a tree in a jungle can make it seem more sacred, we should recognize that individual lives and physical realities are more significant than traditionally taught. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, your imagination can create or dismiss them. Similarly, facing your personal demons can reveal whether they are real or products of politically influenced beliefs. Can you question everything without discrimination? If you follow your group's teachings blindly, remember that you live in an era of equal rights, scientific knowledge, and a physical world with repeatable results. You will be questioned about everything you do or believe. Reflect on your identity. Can you truly believe you are closer to God than others who share the same right to breathe and live? If their actions align with God's will, then God would influence their behavior. Believing otherwise may imply that you are incorporating your political views into your understanding of God. God represents our metaphorical reality, and all humans are considered God's physical agents. Your sense of superiority may stem from politically tainted education rather than divine preference. So, do you want to involve God in your biases and discrimination? Such actions could be considered a significant spiritual error, as they wrongly attribute God to human prejudices.